frustration turn into elation as you turn your head to self-isolation decoration.
Hi there, Phil here from Paint the Town Green, giving you some useful ideas of little decorating jobs you can do around the house while you're stuck inside. So this is our bathroom. It's full of all sorts of cracks and imperfections that have been bothering me for ages. If you come and do a bit of a close-up here, you see we've got cracks all around here and up in the corner here. Lots of different techniques needed here that I'm going to take you through. First of all, we're going to sort out these ones here on the flat surface of the wall. First thing we need to do with these cracks before we start filling them is we rake them out. Best thing to use is a screwdriver or something similar. This is to get rid of anything loose or flaking. So we get our screwdriver into the crack and just drag it down. These little bits and pieces that are coming away. Does two things. Gets rid of these little chips, and it also gives us a slightly deeper trough that our filler can actually get into. If we were to just start filling on this now, just skim over the surface and the crack would open up again pretty quickly. So we call this raking out. Do the same thing all the way down here, up here. So we've got a nice clean edge that we can then fill to, and everything is solid and nothing is loose. Now I'm going to show you a little bit later on two different ways of filling. One is for the flat surfaces like this, and the other is for the corners like this. Same problem we've got here with the window meets the wall. We're going to rake it out. Okay, we're all raked out and we're ready to fill. Okay, mixing filler. It's a very important part of any making good you do. It doesn't really matter what brand, you can get Tetrian, Polyfiller, Two-Pray. I'm pretty sure this one is Two-Pray we've got here. It's a little unbranded bag. I'm just going to do a little bit here for demonstration purposes, but the basic principle applies whether you're just doing a tiny little bit or a whole load. So some people prefer to mix it in a bucket. Can you see the bucket? And some people on a flat board. I'm going to do this on a little flat board here. You can use, what's quite good is a lid of a paint tin. You've got a 10-litre tub of emulsion or something, a nice flat surface. But basically, make a little hole in the middle like that. A little bit of water in the middle there. And then we mix it in. What you don't want to do is put too much water in, because once it goes runny, you end up just chasing your tail trying to thicken it up with more powder. So you're just blending it in like that. And there we have it, just a little bit of filler. Just get the powdery bits on the edge. It's generally a good idea to do it in small bits rather than do one massive lump, because you only get about 5-10 minutes to play with it maximum before it starts to go off and it becomes unusable. Obviously the more runny you make it, the longer it lasts, but if it's too runny, it tends to sag and you've got to do a second fill anyway. Okay, so there we have it. It's a good size, like a sort of half a golf ball worth, or a golf ball, depending how big your cracks are. So we go back over to our cracks that we raked out a little earlier. So I'm going to concentrate on the areas that are on the flat bit of wall. So you take a little bit on your knife like this, and just butter it on along the crack. And force it in. So it goes right in there. Now, what you don't want to do is make it completely flat. So you don't want to take the whole thing off, because that may look very neat and lovely, but you almost certainly need to do a second fill afterwards because it shrinks a little bit. So what you want to do is just get it so it's just about a millimetre thick. You forced it into that crack that you raked out, and you get about a millimetre or so proud. So there we are, coming along there. Down here. Okay, that's most of it done. I'm going to mix up a little bit more and finish off here. You don't need to see all that. And then what we'll do is we'll let it dry. And once it's dried, it takes anything between an hour and 2 or 3 hours, depending on how deep the cracks are. Once it's dried, we'll come back to it and I'll show you what to do next. So now that this is all dry, it's all white, we can sand it down. Now, the sandpaper I'm using is 120. I'm going to do a separate one of these clips on sandpaper, but I'm using 120 sandpaper for sanding this filler. Okay, and that's all done. Our filler's all sanded. Now ideally, when you're sanding anything, whether it's filler or NDF, whatever, you'd have a breathing mask on. But frankly, good luck getting hold of one of those at the moment. So I don't happen to have one, so I'm not using one. But in an ideal world, that's what you'd use. We're going to have a hoover up now, and then that's ready to paint. We'll do painting in a separate clip. But one thing to note, in case you don't see that, is you always need at least 2 coats of paint on top of filler. So what we would do as decorators is what they call spot prime all the filler. So you go around all the bits where you put filler with a brush and put your first coat of paint on those, and then do a complete coat of paint over everything. So the filler's always got 2 coats on. But that is how you polyfill a wall. Do you want to have a look? All the cracks have gone.